Historic Modi hat-trick. Modi and his cabinet to be sworn in. Big buzz ahead of oath ceremony. India Today scoops Naya cabinet news breaks. Who's in? Who's out? Modi 3.0, the NDA Sarkar.
And the big swearing-in ceremony is all set to begin. We're on our final countdown to a Super Sunday climax of the Modi 3.0 Sarkar. A hat-trick for Prime Minister Narendra Modi being sworn in shortly for the third time consecutively, making him only the second Prime Minister since Nehru to achieve this political feat. Live images coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt, where the swearing-in ceremony will be kicking off shortly. Rahul Kamal is live with us from the Rashtrapati Bhavan because we've been broadcasting from that venue. Rahul, the crowds have already gathered now. It looks like this is the final moments now before we get to see that big Council of Ministers.
Absolutely, Shiv. I see several of the ministers have started coming in. Jayant Chaudhary of the RLD just walked in. You know, it's the allies, Shiv, who are most delighted with the way this verdict has turned out. Because remember, the likes of, say, Chirag Paswan had 6 MPs the last time. Those 6 not quite as valuable as the 5 he has now. It's come down numerically, but gone up in terms of political significance quite a lot because he now has a part in ensuring that any bill crosses the majority. So the biggest smiles, if you look at the smiles here, out of these allies, they may be very small, whether it's the Shindes of the world, whether it's the Jayant Chaudharys of the world, or the Chirag Paswans of the world, most definitely the likes of Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, who now have very significant stakes in the way that this government runs. So, right behind us, I see Ashok Chavan, the BJP's leader from Nanded, who lost. There was a lot of blowback against him in Nanded, people questioning again and again, why did you leave? He kept having to answer that question and realized during the campaign itself that he may not be winning this. So I'll show you some of the images that are happening. I see a lot of the industrialists walking in, grabbing a position. I see officials from the Prime Minister's office, and there behind us, you can see the preparations taking place on the dais for the cabinet to be sworn in. I see several of the ministers have already arrived. Behind me, Jitendra Maghi, the former chief minister of Bihar, he's already come and grabbed the position of the Hindustani Awami Morcha. I see Jayant Chaudhary is there as well from the RLD. So they're all set, very excited. And excited also because the dynamics have changed. If you ask officials from within the government, those who work very closely with the Prime Minister, they say, no, nothing much will change. You see, we still have the same speed, same energy, same purpose. We will back on regardless. But the fact is, to be able to make any legislative agenda go through, they will now need the help of their allies. So that's a very changed dynamic. And all of those changes can be seen here, at least in the air, can be felt in the air, as it were, here at Rashtrapati Bhavan.
You know, Rahul, you've covered many swearing-ins. You've covered a lot of government formations in the past as well. Tell us, at a time like this, the people we have on our screens right now, Dr. S. Jaishankar and the others, the allies, the ministers, would they know what's going to happen with them? Would they know what portfolio they're getting? Or are they also in the dark at this moment?
You know, I remember, Shiv, a conversation I had with then Chief Minister Narendra Modi. This is about in 2012, about how he picks his team, what kind of changes, what kind of things he keeps in mind while deciding who to promote, who to demote. And from what I recall of that conversation, he suggested he prefers continuity. He said, I don't like shuffling my deck. I don't like making people insecure. The more they know, the more they're certain. I groom somebody in a particular role. He learns things over a period of time. Then to just shuffle him around is not optimal from my perspective. That's his broad philosophy. That being said, there are changes very naturally that are warranted now because you have to accommodate the JDU and the Telugu Desam Party and give them important positions in government. Therefore, there are changes that will be required. But broadly, his effort is towards ensuring continuity in the way the cabinets are formed. Some of the ministers, when I spoke to, when I said, "Aapka badal raha hai," he said, they kind of pushed back, saying, "Aapko kya lagta hai? I'm going to continue." So they seem to have been indicated that they will continue. It seems from the few conversations I've had with ministers who are part of this deck who we know well, they've seemed to suggest that they aren't changing. But that could just be a random sample of me speaking just to the few people who are continuing in their positions. And as we've seen with polls, we need to be a little careful about drawing big conclusions from limited samples. So, Jay.
Your final question before I let you go for the moment only, Rahul, is that, while the opposition has been, justifiably trying to, suggest cracks in this NDA coalition and instability, today's signaling, following that big NDA meeting in Parliament will be about continuity, stability, and no real problems beneath the surface at least.
If I had a conversation with a leader from the Telugu Desam and asked him the specific question, now just look at it from their point of view.
Yeah.
If, for example, they were part of an India alliance kind of coalition, there'll be 10 small parties vying for a share of power, and therefore whatever gets done, not done, then gets split 1 by 10, right? The moment you have a situation where there's a BJP as a big chunk, and you've got the TDP and the JDP as two major allies without whom things really can't get done, the dynamics change. The PDP pretty much can push through whatever important parts of their agenda, and so can the JDU. This works much more to their advantage. Remember, Chandrababu Naidu has been out of power for the last 2 terms. He's come back to power. He's desperate, much more than what happened in Central, to establish himself once again in Andhra Pradesh. He showed to Telugu there is some Babu way of functioning in the new state. He hasn't had an opportunity to run the new state. So therefore, those are far more important for him to establish himself, show what he can do. And if he's part of a more mixed alliance, it's far more complicated than this, because you've got BJP plus 2. Dealing with those two is easier for the BJP, for those allies to deal with the government is easier than if there are 10 people trying to pull in 10 different directions.
Rahul, thanks for the moment. We'll keep coming back to you. Rahul Kamal reporting live from the Rashtrapati Bhavan venue. These are live pictures, viewer, from the swearing-in ceremony. That's the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, just as you climb the Raisina Hill from Vijay Chowk in front of Parliament. This is what you get. It's the large courtyard, the forecourt, right in front of the President's house. And that's where all these seats have been laid out for the dignitaries, the guests, a large number of journalists who are there to attend the swearing-in ceremony as well, to be a part of what is, in effect, political history. Now, remember, it's been a mandate that the BJP may not have been completely happy with, but this is, after all, the BJP-led government that is being sworn in, and therefore nobody can take that away from them. Former Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in those pictures. She was there in that earlier meeting with the Prime Minister as well. There she is making her way, Ashwini Vaishnav. The pictures, remember that journalists gathered at the Rashtrapati Bhavan right now will be looking very closely at any body language that can betray even a slight hint of what the fate of all these big netas is going to be. I'm joined also, to analyze some of these pictures, to make sense of some of these pictures now by T.S. Sudhir, political analyst. He's been writing cracker columns for India Today, analyzing the election result, especially from the perspective of the South. Rashid Kidwai is a well-known author and political analyst. Rahul Verma, fellow Center for Policy Research and a very well-respected analyst in himself. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with me on this big day, to look at all these things. Rashid Bhai, starting with you, you have attended swearing-in ceremonies in the past, I'm sure. What would journalists be looking for right now? At a time when you have a sense of how many people are going to be sworn in, but nobody has any sense of what they are getting, what berths are being handed out, etc. What would journalists be looking out for right now, Rashid?
Thank you, Shiv. I think it's portfolios, because portfolios are the next important thing. We have a kind of, advanced list, because the Prime Minister had invited the soon-to-be ministers, so we have an idea about who's in. Now the point of interest is who's getting what, and then there comes that big four: home, defense, finance, external affairs. Remember, there has been some kind of reports of rural distress, and therefore that resulting in Mr. Modi not getting a kind of comprehensive mandate, in the sense that BJP not crossing 300 mark or 272 on its own. Will it be, some kind of portfolio shift in the finance ministry or not, or there is going to be continuity that Rahul Kamal was talking about? But portfolios are the biggest thing. We would look for a clue, officials, political leaders, anybody who's in the know of things or has a thing or two, and this in this case, allies, the alliance partner leaders, if they have been, told that, you're going to get this one cabinet rank and one MOS,
Yeah.
and this would be the likely portfolio. So I think these are the things. Swearing in ceremony is great to get, leads and get some kind of head start and have some kind of news break.
And that's what they're going to be looking for. Ravi Kishan, the Gorakhpur MP, they're wearing sunglasses. The sun is still up. It'll be setting very shortly behind the beautiful silhouette of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Ministers, senior dignitaries still making their way into the Rashtrapati Bhavan right now. Journalists all gathered there looking very closely for any possible hint into what those portfolios could really be. Rahul Verma, if I could come to you, journalists generally under the previous two Modi Sarkars, there was very little that actually came out until the announcements were actually made. This time there are a few external levers owing to the coalition nature of this government, where leaks, as it were, could actually happen. Do you see that happening? Do you see any surprises this time? I mean, it's only a few minutes before most people will finally come to know. But do you see any surprises this time, Rahul?
I don't have that kind of linkage to understand where leaks come from and whether those leaks are important or not. I'm a political scientist, so I want to see things in medium to long-term perspective. To me, I don't think we should expect any big changes in the way government functions till the assembly elections are held. I think, I wouldn't rather focus on what body languages people are using and whether someone is going out or not. I think assembly elections results in Maharashtra, in Haryana and Jharkhand, in all these three states, BJP had setbacks and they would try to recover during the assembly elections. If they continue to face that setback, then the balance of power will keep shifting towards the allies vis-a-vis BJP, right? And those balance of power will determine how much BJP is going to be accommodative of its allies and how much allies can exert pressure on them. See, I was saying this earlier that while inclusion of certain people in the cabinet, and as Rashid Bhai mentioned, which portfolio you get now would be an indication of accommodation, I think people who are going to be dropped, parties that are not going to be given enough representation as they were hoping for, that's also a signal which BJP and Prime Minister would try to send, that I am going to keep these things in mind while thinking about the cabinet. So inclusion is one way of signal, even exclusion is another way of signal, which is that if you haven't performed, if your party hasn't done well in a state, and if in Prime Minister or BJP's wisdom, they don't think that in next 3 to 6 months, you are that crucial ally, then you are also going to be marginalized at the cost of those who are going to be considered more crucial for the stability of this government.
Very important point. The BJP right off the bat, right at the outset, these initial hours of flux, perhaps setting the rules of engagement for the future of the Modi 3.0 Sarkar. Hardeep Singh Puri, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, many see him as a hero of this election, a person who was sidelined after the Madhya Pradesh election, but someone who's gone on to deliver the entire state and winning himself with a record margin. Mansukh Mandavia and other ministers have also arrived. Giriraj Singh, Pramod Krishnam, other leaders also arriving there. Here you've got Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister. A lot of speculation over what's going to happen with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. The man you see on your screen there in the orange jacket, is he going to be a cabinet minister? Does he have a bigger role to play in something else? Could he be even possibly, a minister in the cabinet committee on security list? We don't know just yet. All of that is currently in suspense, and we're holding off from speculating on those things. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Member of Parliament, Jitin Prasada, the new MP from Pilibhit, is also there in those pictures. And we're going to continue to stay live on those pictures because all of those people, many of them are going to be ministers in the new Modi 3.0 Council of Ministers. We'll get to know those names in just a bit. Jitin Prasad are there. T.S. Sudhir is also with us. Sudhir, Rahul was talking to us about, the conversations that are happening now with allies, conversations that are, much more structured now. They're not just naam ke vaste conversations. The TDP, we are told, has been offered a cabinet berth and an MOS position, which they are not happy with. They had a larger list, apparently, both quantitatively and qualitatively. What are you hearing, about that particular negotiation, Sudhir?
Well, in 2014, Shiv, the TDP had similarly a cabinet rank in Ashok Gajpati Raju, Civil Aviation Minister,
Yes.
and an MOS for Vice Chaudhary. So pretty much the quota remains the same. Now, you would argue that obviously now the TDP is a much more important ally. It controls the levers of power, because without it, it would be a bit of a problem for the NDA. But
Yes.
the sense that I'm getting from the Telugu Desam is that they don't want to rush in demanding more ministries at this point in time. Their focus remains to get much more of financial goodies from the center for Andhra Pradesh, because they want to get into the path of reconstruction of Andhra Pradesh as soon as possible. The state capital, they don't have a state capital after 10 years of bifurcation. They have promised a large number of welfare schemes for which they need funds. The previous YSR government also used to always go to the center asking for help almost every month, because that was the kind of situation as far as the exchequer was concerned. Chandrababu Naidu would like to improve that financial position. So that would remain much more of the focus rather than getting more ministries. And even in the choice of the MPs who have been chosen, Ram Mohan Naidu, of course, was a frontrunner, three-time MP. He comes from a family which has always been loyal to the Telugu Desam. His father, Eram Naidu, was a minister for rural development in the days of the United Front government.
Yes.
The second choice of P. Chandrasekhar has been a bit of a surprise. The wealthiest candidate, the wealthiest MP with assets over 5,400 crore rupees, a first-time MP from Guntur. So in that sense, a bit of a surprise, because there were many other claimants for the second post as far as the Telugu Desam is concerned. But right now, as I said, the TDP does not want to come across as an ally which is making too many demands, but they have been apparently promised when the second round of expansion takes place, that's when they would probably get a few more berths.
All right, we're returning to those live pictures from Rashtrapati Bhavan. More images, live images coming in of the netas, of the former ministers, many of whom are going to be sworn in into the new Modi 3.0 Council of Ministers as well. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the new MP from Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh, seen as one of the big heroes of this election, is also there. All eyes on him and what's going to happen with him. Rahul Kanwal continues to report from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Rahul, take it away. Tell us what you're seeing. The crowds have completely built up now. It's ready for the swearing in. Quick question on Shivraj Singh Chauhan. If you look on social media, especially Rahul, everyone's wondering, Mama ji ko kya milne wala hai?
That's a very important question to ask, because look at what happened in Rajasthan, where the Congress won 11 seats. In comparison, in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP managed to pull the one seat of Chhindwara, which they didn't have, and very clearly in fighting in Rajasthan had a role to play in the manner in which the party was weak, and apart from the fact that the social coalition, the BJP in particular, shifting away from the BJP within a matter of a few months, because we just won a handsome victory in the assembly elections in winter. So it shows you how quickly political ground can shift. And Shivraj Singh Chauhan has emerged as a massive hero within the Sangh firmament. For his quiet determination, for not playing strong, staying like a disciplined soldier, giving it his best at a time when, like they say in politics, his patta hai to cut. He's been removed from the post of chief minister despite having landed a historic mandate for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh. So despite all of that, he's kind of been politically shafted. And he worked hard. He kept his head down. He worked hard. He said that, I have to do my karma. I have to do my work, and God will be kind, which is the way it's really worked out. Because you speak to people in the RSS at the moment, there's huge admiration and respect for Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And I think even within the party, he's earned the quiet respect of people in the party who matter, because he kind of kept his head down, didn't go away from party discipline, and did really what was expected from him as a loyal soldier of the party. So he will most certainly get a plum portfolio. I see Pawan Kalyan there sitting in the images behind us. We're also being told that the likes of Rashtrapati Bhavan and Nitin Gadkari will probably have a bigger role in this government, not just in terms of the portfolios they get, because remember, defense is an important portfolio, road transport is an important portfolio, but
Yes.
because of the nature of the previous political arrangement, there was a very limited role for the others to play. Now, the Prime Minister has already shown that in the first meeting of the NDA, being far more accommodative, far more adjusting. So therefore, if that continues even into governance, it will mean that there will be that much more for the other ministers to do as well.
Very interesting. Rahul, a lovely image just there of Pawan Kalyan and his wife. That, comment by the Prime Minister saying, "Ye Pawan nahi, ye Andhi hai," has become one of the most viral sound bites from a couple of days ago. But just as a quick word, Rahul, the swearing-in ceremony happens at 7:15. Do we have a sense of by when portfolios will become clear? When will that list be out, Rahul?
No, we want to keep speculation to the bare minimum, Shiv.
Yeah.
Here's what we know. In the past, there have been occasions when the list came out the next morning. There have been occasions, as I see Devendra Fadnavis just walking in, there have been occasions where the list came out the next evening. And there have been occasions when the list came out soon after the cabinet portfolios where people took the oath of office. So we've had all three scenarios. From what we've gathered from the officials we've spoken to, they seem to suggest that these will be out soon. But that soon isn't defined, and therefore I think it's best to admit the limits of your knowledge and not claim that we know more than we actually do. But the fact is, like for example, I was speaking to one of the officials who was here, who works very closely with this government, and he said, look at the fact that early this morning, quite a few leaders started giving sound bites and comments that they got calls and that they were being sworn in. He said that is different, If people are speaking more, they'll be more free, they'll be more open, which frankly, for you and me, Shiv, as journalists and for people who track Indian politics, that's not a bad thing. The more people talk, I know the Prime Minister said this morning that, talk as little as possible, don't talk extra, but the more people talk, the more open Indian democracy is, the more things stay quiet and quelled up, worse things are. So I say, hey, more power to democracy, more power to people talking, wanting to make their point heard. Let there be differences like we have in our democratic newsroom. Let a dozen different points of view bloom, and then let's all get together and take a decision. So I think, that's really fantastic for journalism. It's fantastic for democracy, and it really is a good thing. It's a good thing for India as a country. It requires some real calibration within the government, but that's something that they'll need to do.
The Shankaracharya in these images, wide number of invitees who've come in, apart from the ministers themselves, apart from the MPs themselves, who are going to be there, from the workers who worked on the new parliament, to transgender activists, to, people from different parts of the country who've been selected and invited for this ceremony, is very much a signature of how the Modi government has done things in the past as well, and they're continuing it now. Rahul, a final word before, before the final sort of countdown before the swearing-in begins, if I could quickly bring you in. Okay. I see Pawan Kalyan behind Rahul.
Kalyan with me. Mr. Kalyan, the Prime Minister's comments went viral. Pawan nahi aandhi hai. What did you make of that? Were you expecting this kind of a mandate, this level of victory? Because you seem to have completely demolished the Jagan army. So what are you most excited about? Are you becoming Deputy CM? You are going to, so you are interested in becoming Deputy CM? Definitely share power. You want him to be Deputy CM, ma'am? Do you track politics as well, or you don't track? You do? Do you understand Andhra politics? You speak Telugu? A little bit. Yeah, your husband's quite a star, not just on the screen, but off it as well. She's blushing and quite delighted with the way it's gone. Okay, so that was Pawan Kalyan speaking very briefly to India today and talking about how very clearly indicating he wants and hopes to be Deputy Chief Minister.
It's incredible. I mean, Pawan Kalyan has had an outsized effect as far as the engagement and traction this election campaign has got, compared to his performance in the last assembly election to the Janasena party, killing it in all the seats that they contested this time in the assembly election in Andhra Pradesh, makes him a very, very important player. And the Prime Minister singling him out, saying Pawan nahi hai, Andhi hai at that NDA meeting. Very, very much in keeping with the kind of stature that Pawan Kalyan enjoys in his home state of Andhra Pradesh. We'll go back to Rahul in just a short while from now. The jammers may be in place, so we might find it a little difficult to get our reporters in, but we continue to get you these live pictures from inside the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. There's a Rajkumar Hirani, Vikrant Massey, other actors and representatives from Bollywood there on your screens. You just saw Vikrant Massey and Rajkumar Hirani there at the ceremony. So with every frame that you're seeing right now, viewer, and keep your eyes trained on what's happening, you will get a sense. Vasundhara Raje, former Chief Minister of Rajasthan, also someone seen to have been sidelined. Ajit Pawar, who held a press conference just a short while ago. There are some rumblings over what's happening, with the NCP. He's there as well. Each frame, each picture that comes in tells us different story, viewer. That's why I urge you not to look away, because every picture is going to show you someone new who's a stakeholder, someone who has something to either win or lose in the proceedings that kick off in just about half an hour from now. Polami joins us live. There you have it. Rajkumar Hirani, Vikrant Massey, Ajit Pawar, all of them in one frame. Very, very interesting pictures coming in from Rashtrapati Bhavan. Polami, it looks like invitations have been sent out 360 degrees. Bollywood stars, actors, directors, activists, writers, authors, apart from, of course, the usual warriors from the political battlefield. They're all there. They've answered those invitations and they've shown up today at the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Well, I apologize for not hearing the question entirely because, because of the sound and the ambience over here, because of the thousands who've gathered here in the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt. As you can see, I'm in that forecourt area. All of the ministers who will be inducted into the Union Council of Ministers, who will be given, administer the oath of office and secrecy by President Draupadi Murmu, have started arriving. We've seen Sarbanand Sonowal, we've seen Ashwini Vaishnav, Hardeep Puri, as well as Jitin Prasada and others, and those who've not made the cut as well. V. Muralidharan, one of those part of the outgoing Union Council of Ministers, he's present over here as well. Those who have in the past been members of the Union Council of Ministers, not just the outgoing ones, in the past as well over the last 10 years with the Narendra Modi government. They're all present over here, and I'm going to try and, basically just get a glimpse of that. I apologize because of the sound over here that, I might not be entirely audible as well. We'll try and get some wording from those, of course, who are here. There are MPs coming in over here. I see RP Singh, who's of the BJP party as well. RP Singh, you're live right now here today. How big a moment is this?
This is history. This is historic. And then after 1962, this is being repeated. Prime Minister Modi ji will be Prime Minister for the third time, and he has promised country to make country Viksit Bharat. And we are all looking forward to his promise being fulfilled, his dream being fulfilled of Viksit Bharat.
When a coalition government works on this thing?
110%. I mean, it's the Prime Minister Modi who's leading our government, 110%. The government will perform very well and there will be no issues. It is just the opposition who is in this daydreaming process of thinking that probably the government fall. Mark my words, the coalition of opposition will crash in the next 3 months.
You have that last question because you hail from the state of Punjab. Interesting that Ravi Singh Bittu, who lost from Ludhiana, has been included in the
Well,
for a Sikh, young Sikh face. Is that the reason?
Yeah, young Sikh face plus he hails from the community which is in majority in Punjab, and he has a very good clean track record. His family gave their life for fighting against terrorism. So the message for the complete Punjab.
Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for speaking with Media Initiative. That was audible. RP Singh, of course, saying that Ramneet Singh Bittu's contribution, his family's contribution, of course, specifically to the state of Punjab, they've given their life and soul. He's the grandson
Yes.
of former Chief Minister late Vyas Singh, and that is why it is extremely.
Stay with me, Polomi. Akshay Kumar, actor, N. Biren Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, several other dignitaries, they've all lined up there. Our viewers need to bear with us so we can quickly decode in real time these pictures that are coming in live from the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. All the big MPs and ministers are there, and in just about 45 minutes from now is when the swearing-in ceremony does begin. Now, the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, right on top of Manoj Sinha, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, also seen there, just arriving inside the forecourt. Vinod Tavde of the BJP welcoming him in. Tridib Bordoloi, former Chief Minister of Tripura, current MP, also winning by a huge margin, sitting right there up front. We'll have more data for you about their winning margins in just a bit. Manoj Sinha, Prahlad Joshi, the BJP MP from Hubli, Dharwad, also making his entry right behind. And we'll have more for you. This is, of course, the BJP MP, one of the BJP MPs who had lost from Uttar Pradesh. The forecourt is full. The ceremonials are about to kick off, and everything is ready towards the inauguration. Manohar Lal Khattar, former Chief Minister of Haryana, current MP from Karnal, is also there. Remember, Haryana goes to the polls later this year, along with Maharashtra. It's a hot summer evening. Obviously, the swearing-in ceremony has been Pushkar Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, as well as
उत्तराखंड के मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी.
Someone needs to give me the...
स्वामी चिदानंद सरस्वती परमार्थ निकेतन से. और ये
been kept in the evening, viewer, because it's a scorching hot week here in the national capital. If it had been kept earlier in the day, it would have been pretty much unbearable. Even now, very, very warm. Mansukh Mandavia, Dr. S. Jaishankar having a word with each other. Both cabinet ministers expected to be part of the new Council of Ministers as well. But could there be a surprise in store for others? A general shape of the new Council of Ministers has already emerged, and like we've heard from our experts, it isn't likely that there will be any big jerks or jolts, but negotiations are still very much on. Until that first list of portfolios is released from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, either tonight, either tomorrow, or maybe a little later in the week, those negotiations will actually continue. Manohar Lal Khattar, Jyotiraditya Scindia, both MPs. Manohar Lal Khattar is the former Chief Minister of Haryana. His state goes to the elections this year. Amit Shah, former Home Minister, has also arrived, winning by a record margin from Gandhinagar in Gujarat. He's here as well, obviously, and will be in the Council of Ministers. Our rolling coverage will ensure, viewer, that you miss absolutely nothing. All of our cameras pointed in every direction. Home Minister Amit Shah is in. Okay, Polomi Saha continues to be with us. Polomi, I'm going to come to you in a moment. We've just seen Akshay Kumar, Amit Shah, Manoj Sinha and others walk in right now. Just about 45 minutes to go for the swearing-in ceremony to take place. It looks like, okay, Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of UP, has just walked in as well. Let's just cruise over these pictures for a moment. Yogi Adityanath, in a state where the BJP was perhaps chastened the most. He comes in, however, he received a very telling pat on the back from the Prime Minister at the NDA meeting a couple of days ago in Parliament. There's been wide speculation about the about the dynamics of the center-UP relationship as far as the BJP's performance is concerned. But here is Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, to attend the big swearing-in ceremony. All the senior ministers of the erstwhile Modi cabinet are, of course, there, all present in full force. All the MPs are there as well. Polami is with us. Polami, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has walked in, as have, Manohar Lal Khattar and all the others who've come in. The sense that you're getting, Polami, from Kiran Rijiju has also just walked in. The sense that you're getting, Polami, from your sources within the BJP about whether there are going to be any big surprises when the portfolio list comes out. Nitin Gadkari also just coming in. Polami, over to you.
Some of them who've not made it as well to the Council of Ministers. Sanjeev Balan, I can see he lost from the Muzaffarnagar seat in Uttar Pradesh. He's a President Singh Shekhawat, who makes it back into the Union Council of Ministers, was just accepting a lot of congratulatory messages from individuals in the audience right now. And we see a lot of people and a lot of candidates who won the elections were introduced by the BJP for the first time around in the Lok Sabha electoral fray. We lost elections where everyone is for instance, Dr. Amshpal Gaukuli, who fought from the very prestigious Jadavpur seat, taking on the TMC and the left from the TMC. Shani Ghosh won from that very interesting constituency of Kolkata and South 24 Parganas. He's a president of the year. So from across the spectrum, there are several guests of the Bharatiya Janata Party for president of the year, and I can see, it's obviously a little distant away. You can see that the ministers who are being sworn right now are in fact seated at the moment. Nitin Gadkari, Amjad, as well as Lalan Singh, G.K. They're all taking their seats. Bandi Sanjay, Nirmala Sitharaman has just arrived on the dais as well. Joel Moram from the state of Odisha, he's on the dais as well. Briefly, he was not a member of the Union Council. He's back in the Union Council. Giriraj Singh from Bihar, Vivek Singh back in the Union Council again. One again from the seat of Jammu. Dharmendra Pradhan contested the Lok Sabha election for the first time from Odisha. Sambalpur seat is back in the Union Council of Ministers as well. Jyotiraditya Scindia, again a Rajya Sabha MP who was asked to contest the Lok Sabha elections from the very seat that he lost from in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Guna, on a Congress ticket, has won this time round. He is seated as we speak at the moment. Several of those MOSs, Shripad Nayak, are very likely to get MOS independent.
Just walking in, Polami, the sole MP of the BJP, the first ever MP of the BJP from Kerala, Suresh Gopi, who is a star in his own right, but now a superstar of sorts, giving the BJP its first ever seat in history in the state of Kerala, has just walked in. Well, he has an outsized presence, obviously a man with a very powerful personality anyway, but someone by virtue of his victory, in the face of the legacy UDF-LDF combo in Kerala, managing to wrest that one seat and land it for the BJP, making him a very, very important man today. Could he see power at the center? We'll have to wait and see. Here are images coming in from the dais on the pedestal at the forecourt. That was Dr. S. Jaishankar, Nirmala Sitharaman, Arjun Munda and others who are all assembled there. The Sabka Saath Council of Ministers for the first time. You also saw religious seers across the board have also been invited, as you can see. One by one, they're also entering at this point.
स्थित है जो सम्राट अशोक के शासन काल में निर्मित एक स्तंभ का सबसे ऊपरी हिस्सा हुआ करता था।
हुमा, अगर आप विस्तार की बात करें, ये वो इलाका है जिसे जब 1911 में नई दिल्ली की नींव रखी गई, ये तय किया गया, तो पहले तो
sea of color there at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt. Now, this is the image that most people are going to be looking at, viewer, very, very closely. Shivraj Singh Chauhan seated there right next to Nirmala Sitharaman, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Nitin Gadkari, Amit Shah. That's very important. Ripendra Misra, the man behind the construction of the Ram Mandir project, also arriving there. Former Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister on the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, we're going to go across now to our guests once again as these live pictures continue to come in. On the right-hand side of your screen, viewer, you're looking at people who we know are going to be sworn in just about half an hour from now. Rashid Kidwai, I'd like to come to you quickly now. The stage is set for this big, this big swearing-in ceremony. For the last couple of days, since the dust has settled, the dust has not settled on the election result. Everyone is still exulting in one way or the other, especially the opposition. But the signal being sent out by, putting together such a large swearing-in ceremony today is also to kind of affirm perhaps stability and to send out a message that all is well. It is Modi 3.0 after all.
Yes, Shiv, and indeed, it is a kind of, this picture is a one of confidence, continuity, determination, etc. But what has happened today within NCP and the NCP failure to be here, puts a bit of a, jarring note, and it's a kind of trailer or shape of things to come. So that is a real, so Mr. Modi, I am sure, is very deft at handling this coalition, politics and coalition dynamics. I hope that once the portfolios are distributed, the allies would react in a measured way and in acceptance.
I'm just coming back to you, Rashid Bhai. I apologize for interrupting you. Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani have just walked in. I'll come back to you, Rashid. Shah Rukh Khan and Mukesh Ambani have just walked in. There they are, live pictures as they make their way in. Very, very interesting pictures across the board. The Ambani family, that's Anand Piramal, son-in-law of Mukesh Ambani, also seen in those pictures. Shah Rukh Khan there. Anand Ambani, recently engaged and back from his Mediterranean cruise to Italy and other countries, is also there. Anand Ambani visible in those pictures. Fresh from his luxury engagement cruise. People stopping the Ambanis to take some selfies with them. He is Asia's richest man. Mukesh Ambani, the father of Anand, is Asia's richest man. He's just arrived. Wouldn't be missing the swearing-in ceremony of Modi 3.0. So there he is. He arrived earlier today, of course, on his own aircraft. The Ambani family is there in full strength. Anand Piramal, Mukesh Ambani, Anant Ambani and others. We couldn't see most of them in those pictures. I'm sure we'll get those shots in just a moment. Yeah, there you go. Anant Ambani, Mukesh Ambani and other members of the family and their staff, all there at this big forecourt. This forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan in so many ways is a huge leveler, viewer. And it's interesting to note that from Asia's richest man to the people who built with their own hands the new parliament building, they're all there at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt to witness the swearing-in ceremony of Modi 3.0. And in just a few moments from now, the announcements will begin. The president will arrive at about 7:10 p.m. Okay, Gautam Adani also there in the frame. Gautam Adani is sitting right in front of Shah Rukh Khan in those pictures. We'll get back to those images in just a moment from now. I'm going to ask our producers to give us those pictures so we can put them on our screens of Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh, Gautam Adani. Rajnath Singh, former defense minister, walking in now. The member of parliament from Lucknow is here. Senior member of the BJP and the erstwhile dispensation. Kangana Ranaut is here as well, not only winning as MP from Mandi, but also in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, thanks to an ugly incident at the Chandigarh airport. There she is after the BJP's full sweep of Himachal Pradesh. Kangana Ranaut has just walked in as well. All smiles. No signs of any discomfort over the incident that took place. Here's Kangana, the newly minted BJP MP from Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. Many Bollywood actors have shown up today. Akshay Kumar, Shah Rukh Khan, Raju Hirani, Vikrant Massey, many others have turned up. Chandrababu Naidu, the man of the moment, with India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai. India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai having a quick chat with the man of the moment, the NDA coalition's perhaps most important ally, Chandrababu Naidu, who will be sworn in on the morning of the 12th as Andhra's next chief minister. The big tsunami entry of Chandrababu Naidu back into the politics of Andhra Pradesh. Murli Manohar Joshi of the Mardarshak Mandal of the BJP also being welcomed into the BJP, into the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The guests and the dignitaries are still continuing to arrive. Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of Bihar and the other key ally in this new NDA Sarkar, also arriving. Bandaru Dattatreya seen behind him there from Telangana. Murli Manohar Joshi greeting some of the others as he walks in. Nitish Kumar also seen in those pictures right behind. So the guests are arriving. The power play has begun. The swearing-in ceremony will kick off very, very shortly. Rahul Kamal continues to be with us. Rahul, big spotlight on on the eye catchers. Of course, the ministers and the netas are all there, but many big eye catchers: Gautam Adani, Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani, Anant Ambani, also fresh from his engagement cruise. They're all there, and the spotlight is on them too.
Oh, absolutely, Shiv. I just saw Rajnikant walk in. Before that, Kangana Ranaut walked in and she said, where do we sit? How do I go to some of these newbie MPs? Quite literally trying to find their feet in the Latvian Darbar, as it were. Trying to find out where do they have to sit, where's their position in the pecking order. When she's come as a guest in the past, remember, the likes of Kangana Ranaut would have had a far more prominent position to sit at than where they get to sit right now. So those are subtle shifts in dynamics. So Rajnikant just walked in. I saw Anupam Kher go in as well. The top leaders of various parties are coming in one by one, and we'll be able to capture that for our viewers. We see former President Ramnath Kovind just walk in. And apart from this, we see Manoj Tiwari, a lot of other people who are just walking in. Manoj bhai, kaise ho aap? Congratulations, aapki badi jeet pe. Nice to see you and wish you all the best. Thank you. So a lot of the top leaders walking in. It's interesting that Gautam Adani is out here at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He was conspicuous by his absence during the Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Temple. But he's here. He is sitting next to Akshay Kumar Shiv, a short while before now. And it's really packing up. A lot of the ministers had a brief opportunity to get a word in with the likes of Home Minister Amit Shah and his family, who are all here. Jay, of course, most likely in New York for that big India-Pakistan match. But they're all getting in, taking their positions in a quiet sense of determination is what is sought to be conveyed. That, don't think that our chips are down, they're not. And that we hope to be able to continue in the same spirit as last time. That's essentially, Shiv, the kind of message that each of these people who we're speaking to is looking to convey.
You couldn't ask for bigger guests than this, Rahul. We've got two windows on our screen right now. On one hand, you've got Talaiva Rajnikant himself, known to be a very close friend of the Indian Prime Minister. Then you've got Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani and his family there. The Prime Minister of Nepal has just walked in. The foreign dignitaries will be arriving in just a moment as well. The point that Rahul Kamal just made about the signal radiating out from this ceremony being that the chips are most certainly not down. This is, after all, a Modi 3.0 Sarkar. This is a firm mandate for the BJP, and that the BJP is forming the government and it will soon be back to business as usual. Remember, the monsoon session of Parliament comes up later, but for now, this is the government that continues in its third term. It's a coalition government, but it is a BJP-led government that continues. JP Nadda has just arrived. He is also to be inducted into the Council of Ministers. Remember, he is the BJP president. He has been a cabinet minister before this as well. So could this see the return of JP Nadda? The Prime Minister of Bhutan, they're seen getting out of his vehicle and arriving. The the big neighborhood focus is the diplomatic flavor of this swearing-in ceremony, viewer. And that's the reason why you're seeing the leaders of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, and other countries. Even the president of Maldives has arrived in India, a country with which India has had a bit of an ugly flare-up since last year. He's there as well. Rajnikant Talaiva, person who has never, hesitated to show his admiration and appreciation for the Prime Minister, has made it a point to be in Delhi at the Rashtrapati Bhavan for the swearing-in of Modi 3.0. The Prime Minister of Bhutan walking in there, and the other leaders. They will be making their way to Pride of Place right in the front for this big swearing-in ceremony. Diplomatic continuity in the neighborhood is something that the Prime Minister has professed to take very, very seriously, and that will, of course, be an agenda point as he continues in office. Kangana Ranaut has just walked in. Lots of stars at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt for the swearing-in ceremony today, and we will, one by one, get you all those pictures. That's President Jagannath of Mauritius also walking in on the left-hand side of your screen. Extremely close relations between India and Mauritius, going a step further this time as well. Paulomi continues to be live with us. Paulomi, only about 20 minutes left before the swearing-in ceremony begins. We can see all the big dignitaries also walk in from the other countries. The diplomatic neighborhood muscle here to cheer on Modi 3.0. They've all just walked in, Paulomi. We can see Sheikh Hasina just arriving.
That's right. The new
प्रधानमंत्री और एक्सीलेंसी शेख हसीना विश्व में सबसे लंबे समय से प्रधानमंत्री महिला प्रधानमंत्री है।
We can barely hear you, unfortunately. I'm going to have to cut you off for just a moment. We will try and fix that audio with you, Paulomi, and come back to you. I'm so sorry about that, but we will. I know you're trying from your end. We will try from this side as well, because we want our viewers to hear you. That's Sheikh Hasina and her daughter, who always travels with her everywhere. She was the first. She's the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, of course, as you know, and she was the first to accept Prime Minister Modi's invitation to be here in person to witness the swearing-in ceremony, the historic landmark swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Modi and his council for the third time. Now, Prime Minister Modi and Sheikh Hasina enjoy a very cordial professional relationship as Prime Ministers of the two neighbors. There you have Sheikh Hasina meeting with the first couple of Nepal there as well. The lady in the sari behind Sheikh Hasina is her daughter. Diplomats, ambassadors, and senior staff of these national leaders are all, of course, with them. The leaders of Mauritius, the Maldives, and Bhutan are also there. Important and interesting pictures. Mallikarjun Kharge, the president of the Congress party, there in that front row. The opposition, in large part, has decided not to be present for the swearing-in ceremony, but Mallikarjun Kharge, who was extended an invitation as president of the second largest party in this election, is there. He has honored the occasion with his presence. Images once again on your right of Mukesh Ambani and Shah Rukh Khan. Huge amount of attention is being paid to the different types of people who've been invited to this ceremony, viewer, because this was an election like no other. This was an election that ushers back the era of coalition politics. This is an election in which the power centers have become more than just a few. This is an election where it isn't just the BJP. There are other parties that join the constellation of power in Delhi after a 10-year gap. So where the chips fall, where the dynamics sort of play out, all of that will be seen over the next couple of days.